Have you ever thought to yourself, you know what I need? The opinion of a person who has never played this game and never will because he does not own that specific piece of hardware. Well, if that is what you are looking for, then you are in luck. Now, let's talk about God of War. Right now, there seems to be this specific narrative floating around on the internet about media companies going woke. Now, it is up to you to decide whether that statement is true or not. Based on my assessment, you have these large corporations who don't really give a shit about any issue, virtue signaling in any direction that they need to in order to make money. My view has always been that if virtue signaling leads to new people getting opportunities that they would not have gotten otherwise, then who gives a shit? I have never cared about the race or the sex or the sexual orientation of my fictional character, and I know that most people feel the same way. Ruining old franchises with reimaginings has, but I just choose to ignore those cases instead of working myself up about it, and again, I feel like that is how most people feel. Now, on the internet, it is a little bit of a different story because there is a lot of money to be made by simply saying that something is woke and yelling about it, and although some of the yelling can be justified, most of the time it is just screaming followed by an ad placement. Right now, all of the attention is on Sony and more specifically God of War. A Fat 4 and an African Angraboda that is enough to blow the horns and signal doomsday. We are going full woke, at least according to a small percentage. So let's start off with Angraboda, the shape-shifting giant that never existed in any of the mythologies. At least not based on my limited knowledge, and even if they did, I don't think it will change any of my points. We have those who say that their existence is not possible because African people did not exist in Greek mythology. Now, first of all, stating the obvious here, Ragnarok is Norse mythology, and once again this fictional character is a shapeshifter, so it really should not bother people this much, and I feel like for the most part it does not, although the vocal minority can sometimes be very loud. The debate about race has become so much that even developers of Ragnarok has decided to push back. Now, here is an article from PlayStation Lifestyle. God of War Ragnarok devs respond to trolls complaining about Angraboda's race. I thought it was a funny exchange and pretty much just sums up where we are right now. Now, before I read it, I am going to skip over some of the names here. I'd rather not read them than butcher them. The internet has no shortage of dramatic trolls looking for opportunities to come out of the woodwork. This time they're upset about God of War Ragnarok's depiction of Angraboda, who is shown as a black character, thus following their complaints about the woke agenda. According to Twitter intellectuals, black people never existed in Norse mythology and there is no black Vikings, claims disputed by actual historians. As a result, they are angry about Santa Monica Studios' representation of Angraboda, so much so that they are trying to school developers and getting appropriately shut down. Do they have blue dwarfs in Norse mythology? The writer and story lead as one troll. Was Loki the son of a Greek demigod? Please show me in the Eddas where it says that they are all lily white. Let me save you the time, you can't, I have read them. Now, the troll wasn't having any of it. They catapulted themselves into the future to posit that God of War's eventual Egyptian series won't have white mythological characters to avoid the double standard. The developer, however, went on, you know that these characters aren't real, right? They can be anything and anyone, some are even giant serpents. But I get it, you were only okay with the serpent because his scales were white, right? Well, good luck to you. I hope that you find a game that better fits your sensibilities. Now, people have been suspicious of Sony for quite a while now. Now, I have to say that when you make your story about the identity of a character instead of just developing the character, it can come across as virtue signaling. If you want to have a gay character or an African character or female lead, do that, but you have to write a good story, otherwise you are not doing any of these people proper justice and you are just subjecting them to more horrible hate. Write the best story that you can, include diversity, and when people ask, just tell them that it's normal and treat it as normal because it is normal. When you make the identity and the advertising of the show revolve around diversity, people will feel like you are pandering even if you are well intentioned. Gay people, African people and women have existed among white men forever, and including them in stories to represent a more balanced society is great. Just make sure that your story doesn't end up otherizing the people that you are trying to include, and this is a lesson that I feel that writers have not fully learned yet.